Hi, welcome back to Bethany Real Estate. This is Shawn Yu, Shawn the realtor guy from Bethany, Oregon. I hope you guys are doing well. Weather is kind of weird. It's nice and sunny, but kind of cold. But I don't mind it as long as there's a sunlight. If it's like gloomy, cloudy, I have issues. I should be living in Austin right now. So in today's video, I want to share with you what's going on in the last 2 weeks in Bethany Real Estate. This one. It's kind of boring numbers, but I'll try to entertain as much as I can. The other topics that I want to talk about in today's video is that what's going on with the private listings. We talk about the like a Compass private listing doing like a Redfin deal, and the Keller Williams doing a deal with Zillow.com. So I'm going to cover that and what you should know as a home sellers in Portland, Oregon. The other thing I want to talk about is the Zillow's Showcase. So this is another like a marketing program that Zillow put out. I'll just share with you my honest opinion on that. And I want to talk about smell of food when you sell a house, especially Korean. I'm actually Korean, so I can talk about Korean food without being like politically incorrect. I don't like Korean food smell in a house. Not many people do. So I'll talk about it a little bit, and I'll share with you what I've been seeing in the current offers. So I sold like 3 listings within like last about a month or so, and I'll share with you what kind of offer sort of patterns, what kind of how aggressive they are, and what kind of deals that they're at least presenting in the first place. So that hopefully that can give you how the market is right now. And then some of the marketing photos, kind of like AI talk a little bit. And and then I'll get back into the numbers. So let's look at the numbers quick, and I'll try to be as concise as possible here. Let's see. Here we go. So right now, in Bethany, there are 138 active listings. In the last 2 weeks, 35 went pending, meaning they accepted offers and doing the home inspection. And in the last 2 weeks, 20 homes sold. So you can just safely say about 1 out of maybe 4, maybe 1 out of 5 homes are selling every 2 weeks. So what happens to the other homes? Some of the homes that don't sell, they come off the market, so withdrawn and canceled and expire. So about 10 of them, 8 of them. It will depend on which, different weeks, but you can say, like 8 out of 138, maybe 10 out of one. So it's like a little bit less than 10% homes don't sell. Actually, they come off market. And so let's say 1 out of six homes, 1 out of 6 homes every 2 weeks sell, and then 1 out of 6 they come off the market. Then 4 out of 6 homes are on the market. That's kind of like overall summary of the market, which tells you that it's not as hot, but it's a little bit slow. It takes a lot more time to market. It takes more time to find the right buyers right now. And that's what I've experienced with the other listings too. So before I talk more about the numbers, and you may just click out, which is fine. You have a busy day. You don't have time to watch this. But if you are interested, let's talk about private listings. So as I mentioned earlier, the private listing thing is where right now the big companies are making deals, try to survive. That's what's happening, in my opinion, because private listings, the argument of working or not working, it's really hard to prove because there's no one home that you can do A/B tests. Because one home, you find a buyer and we don't know where exactly those buyers are going to come from. The advocate of the private listings, they say, well, this is to give more options to the home sellers, and they give example of very high end homes. Let's say in Portland, Oregon, let's say $15 million home. Their argument is that there aren't that many home buyers, so we within the boutique brokerage or luxury brokerage, we have, let's say, 10 brokers who know every billionaires in town or in the world who will come here and buy that $15 million home. So why even bother putting into open market when we have 10 brokers who know every buyers in the world who can afford this? That's kind of like argument which I don't agree with, because there's going to be some San Francisco billionaires. So let's just say billionaires can buy this $15 million home. There's some San Francisco billionaire who will call me tomorrow and say, hey, Shawn, I want to buy that house. So if I'm not in that network, because I own my own brokerage, I'm not with the Compass, I'm not with the Keller Williams, and I don't know about that listing because they only do the in-house pocket listing. They call it the private listing. Or if my buyer doesn't go check that out on Redfin because it's a Compass listing, Redfin, they don't check that, they're not going to see that house, then they're not going to call me, right? So my point here is that the private listing, in my opinion, I've been selling 18 years. In my opinion, it's for the brokerage's benefit. It's for the broker's benefit to pick up more buyer leads. So if you go to like a Redfin, the Compass website right now, there's some odd listing. Let me show you actually what I'm talking about it. There's very odd listing. This one, I don't know if you can see here. Yeah, you can see that one, right? So this one, it says like Portland OS. It's not even OR. and this is a Compass listing. Hold on. You can. There we go. Can you see that? The top portion doesn't show for some reason. But this is a Compass listing, and do you see right there? You have to log in to see more information. And in my opinion, this may be a sample data because you cannot enter our listing on MLS as a coming soon in order to do the private listing right now, because private listing is not allowed in RMLS, which is our market in the whole Portland Metro. That might be a testing subject. It may not be real listing. They're just testing it out because it says OS. Do you see that? Do you see right there? 97204 is, I believe, is a Hawthorne neighborhood, Southeast Portland. But there's no such thing as OS. But my point here is that right there, you have to log in. It says local rules required to log in to view this. So this, in my opinion, is borderline. They're actually, if they're doing this coming soon, you're not supposed to do the online advertisement per RMLS rule. If somebody signs into their portal, does that avoid violating that rule? I'm not sure. I'm not an attorney. But my point here again is this is to benefit the brokerages to have more recruiting tool to recruit more realtors and retain more realtors by offering this. Because right now, the online world is making brokerages really have tough time to recruit and retain realtors. So what I want to say is that private listing doesn't really help the sellers because you are limiting the market exposure. You are limiting to only handful of buyers. You're limiting to only handful of brokers. So that example of $15 million home only exposed to 10 brokers who exclusively work with billionaires, but then other billionaires in the rest of the world will not be able to see it. So how is that really benefiting the seller? It's really for the broker, in my opinion. It's kind of like industry dirty secret, in my opinion. The RMLS coming soon rule basically says this. I mean, you're not really allowed to do any showings. So even if you log in here, you call them, hey, I want to see this, the broker cannot show this property. And it says it's, prohibit against internet advertising. So if this is considered as internet advertising, in my opinion, it is. They're actually violating the rule. I don't know. So again, coming soon, private listing. Like I said, I've been selling 18 years. I have done pocket listing deals in the past. Was it successful? No, it wasn't successful. I actually took a pocket listing, didn't put it in RMLS, and that house didn't sell. But what does work might be that, when you're in a big brokerage, I guess you could sell it to your own brokers, and by talking about it, that's kind of like the marketing thing, right? That's what MLS is for. So MLS is where right now in Portland, Oregon, what you see on Zillow, Redfin, trulyrealtor.com is the same as what I send you in my email. My email is going to be probably faster because that is the source, and then all those websites get syndicated, so they get updated 10-15 minutes later when I send you. So right now, what you see is what you get, meaning you don't have to go to different websites to see all the available listings, including private listings. That's the rule right now, as far as I know. So if I go to MLS, RMLS, there's a coming soon listing search function there. So you should be able to see the coming soon. But you can't go inside of the house until it goes active. So yeah, I know it is confusing, but my point here is that private listings don't really benefit the sellers. And in Portland, Oregon, it's not allowed to show or advertise. Let's move on to the Zillow Showcase. I actually need to gather my thoughts here. Let's go back to the easy one. Easy one would be the numbers. I like the numbers. Let's look at the most expensive listing. Right now, $2.4 million. The lowest single family home is $550,000 at $325 per square foot. So that might be the reason why some homes don't sell, because if you look at the pending, $318 per square foot is what's getting accepted right now. And what's sold, oh yeah, 324. That's pretty good, actually. Let's look at the sold listings. In the median days on the market is 18 days. And median sold price is $751,000. The most expensive home that sold in the last 2 weeks is $1.23 million. Pending one is $1.3 million. And the median days on the market is about a month. Homes that came off the market, $312 per square foot. Canceled is the highest, right? $329 per square foot. And they had it on the market, like median days on the market is like 187 days. So a little bit over about 6 months. Yeah. So that's what's happening in Bethany right now. Oh, one other thing. Sold price per price per square footage. I'm sorry. Sold price per original list price. Yes, that's what it is. Is 97.79%. So close to about 98%, which actually has improved quite a bit. So if somebody listed like $1 million home, that home sold for $970,000 ish, 980. So they gave about $20,000 price cut. That's what it means. Is that right? Am I doing it right? Yes. And then the median sold price per list price is slightly over 100, meaning once they do a price cut, the median, this tells me some homes probably added more concessions, meaning they may have like given the full price offer, and the buyer wrote an offer with, let's say, $40,000 seller credit, and seller go, well, no, I don't want to give that. And then the buyer goes, how about then we raise the price like $20,000 and I'll give you and still give me 40. So that becomes like, instead of $40,000 seller credit, it becomes $20,000, right? And so I see that right now quite a bit. And obviously the danger for the sellers is that it may not appraise, but appraisal hasn't been that big of an issue lately. So in a way that, the buyer can get more seller credit and the seller still gets closer to the asking price. And that's what it tells me, unless we have seen a lot of multiple offers. So let's talk about what I've been seeing in the recent market of the 3 listings that I sold in the last month. So one listing got multiple offers, 3 offers. And then the other 2 listings just got 1 offers each. And one thing that I want to point out here is that the buyers are being a lot more aggressive. What I mean by that is they're asking for a lot of seller credit to cover their closing costs, all of them, which can be anywhere between $8,000 and let's say $14,000. And on top of that, they ask for additional credit so that they can buy down the rate. So I've seen like $600,000 homes, they're asking for 20,000 credit. I've seen 30,000 credit. I mean, these are not the final, accepted deal, but initially that's what they offered. And so, we negotiated better than that, obviously, because, slow market doesn't equate to sellers just automatically giving that kind of credit. I mean, my sellers, some were motivated, but they weren't willing to give that kind of credit. So we negotiated way better than that. But my point is that I think right now buyers are getting a lot of information from other states and other cities. So if you're getting information from a realtor in Austin, Texas, or Florida, it is a buyer's market. Don't make a full price offer. You got to make a lower price offer. Ask for a lot of seller concession. That's what they think, that they can do that in Portland market. But the reality is that doesn't work like that, because every market is different. Portland market is way different than Austin market. So I need to plug in my charger here. Hold on one sec. Yeah, see, this is new. I didn't expect the videos to be this long, but it is what it is. So I'm charged now, so I don't have to think about it. So yeah, so that's what kind of offers that I see in the current market. One other thing is that it takes, like I said, a lot longer to market, meaning even if you priced it right, if you price just right, I suppose you're supposed to get multiple offers. Is how you see it. In my opinion, when you price it right, you should get an offer within 2 to 3 weeks, in my opinion. If you get multiple, that could mean the house is way more desirable than the price, which then maybe we have underpriced, or it was priced just right, but it attracted more buyers and kind of push up that, sell price more than list price. But overall, I mean, I've seen at even the right price, a lot of people takes several weeks sometimes to attract the right buyer. Especially if the house is unique, it takes longer time to find the right buyer, even at the right price. I hope that makes sense. And the buyers are way more careful. Buyers, they don't jump right away. And because of the interest rate has been coming up and down, up and down, up and down, some weeks they can afford to buy this house, but now they may not be able to. Let's actually take a look at the mortgage rate. I go to OnPoint and it came down from yesterday. Yesterday, it was 6.375% for the 30-year fixed. Now today is 6.25. This is good news because we were accepting an offer the other day. I'm like, I had to check with the lender, the buyer's lender. Can this buyer still qualify with this current rate? And you say yes. But that's a great news, actually. So that's what's happening. Let's talk about Showcase. So when you go to Zillow, when you do the home search, you'll see something called a Showcase listing. So in order to get showcased, the agents have to pay like several $100s a month to have their listings like put Showcase logo thing, and it apparently shows better, more buyers see, more buyers save. Allegedly, that's according to Zillow, who makes that product to charge money to realtors. But the reality is, when buyers search for home, if the buyer goes to Redfin to look at homes, no matter what they do on Zillow, doesn't make any difference, because Redfin, that listing is going to show within their search parameters, within their price, bedroom count, location. So having a better place on Zillow, you think that that's going to help them? I don't think so, because every buyers look at their own parameters. And whether it's at the top of the list, or whether it's on the 5th of the list, or the 12th of the list, when you're looking at, especially low numbers like right now, when the home buyers look for homes, the homes that are available within their search parameter is less than 10 homes. At best, there aren't that many homes. So it doesn't make any difference whether it's at the top of the list or on the 5th or the 10th. And in my opinion, the realtors who may be a little bit naively thinking that when you pay a company more money, you're going to sell your listing better kind of thinking, will pay that kind of money. Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm not one of them. What I believe is that when the price right, when my photos are good, when the listing is prepped well, it shows well, people go and see, whether it's on the top of the list or on the 5th of the list. But let's just face it, Zillow's good at making realtors pay. I mean, Zillow's about 90% of the revenue is coming from realtors. Not me, but there's a lot of realtors who are paying hundreds and thousands of dollars to Zillow every month. I'm not one of them, because I don't believe in it. I believe in marketing my own listings through social media, MLS. That's good. That's what works. Not a Zillow, the first showcase thing. So if an agent is telling you that because he's paying money, because I can get you at the top instead of fifth, you have to list with me. You decide on that one. Yeah. To me, this is more of a Zillow basically got created because the realtors didn't know how to market themselves. If they can't market themselves, their own profile to meet sellers and buyers, then they're going to have some insecurity about marketing your listings. You have to pay money to market themselves and their listings. So I'm not a fan of it. I think Zillow is not my cup of tea. But my selling has been just fine because Zillow is not the only online source. It is one of the bigger ones. But yeah. So in my opinion, Showcase is for another testing product to collect realtors who are insecure about their marketing, insecure about their pricing, insecure about their own marketing, the realtor profile marketing, so they have to pay somebody thinking that that's going to solve their problem of overpriced listing. I'm being maybe a little bit cynical here, but that's how I view it. Let's move on and talk about smell of foods. So this is pretty sensitive topic because it is literally sensitive when you walk into a house when there's a smell of food. There's only one kind of food that I actually like, which is Thai food smell. If I smell like Thai food in a listing, I would be happy. But if I smell Korean food, like I said, I'm Korean, so I can put down Korean food smell here, is not good. Especially kimchi it can smell like some dead animal. Can I say that? Am I going against my own people? No, it's just the food. Food, kimchi smell is one of the worst things to have inside of a house when you try to sell. I'm not a big fan of like Indian curry smell either when I walk into an empty home. When I walk into an empty home, it's kind of like when you buy a car, when you buy a brand new car, when you go inside of that brand new car, the leather smell, the plastic, it's very fumy, very unhealthy, but that's the smell that you like when you buy a brand new car. I personally experienced twice, I think maybe 3 times. But when you get into a brand new car and smell like you may smell taco or something, would you get excited? And that's kind of the buyer's psychology that you have to understand. And you have to work with the listing agent who will understand that. So I do a lot of stuff. I mean, this is my own secret, but I do a lot of stuff to help that, So if you're thinking about selling, give me a call. So yeah, I mean, smell of food is very subjective too. I mean, I love Thai food smell, but some people may hate Thai food smell when they walk into a house. So making less smelly. That's why, the olden days, some of the brokers who I learned from, this is 20 years ago almost, I used to work at like big brokerages, and there were a few older realtors who actually bake cookies during open house. I think that's a bonus because I can't imagine anybody not liking cookies. Now, I have other ways to make house smell better, but baking cookies is a good idea. Just like flyers work, just like open house work, those old marketing stuff, they work. So let's move on from the food. And I talked about what kind of offers, the aggressive offers are coming in, takes longer to sell. I talked about smell of food, talked about the Zillow Showcase, the private listing. One last thing I want to talk about is the photos. I see a lot of these like very heavily AI edited photos right now. And in my opinion, that doesn't help the listing to sell, in my opinion, because there's a lot of data that's coming out. The buyers, the consumers, the people are in general tired of seeing the AI blob, they call it. Anything made with AI, too artificial. People don't trust it. People don't get emotional attached. They just move on, pass. So when you see a listing photo that is like, let's say, one of those like sunset view, that's kind of like what the photographers sell it to realtors, and realtors think that helps, but in my opinion, that doesn't help. With fake sunset view, with so much edited, it looks like fake photo, like, AI photo. When most people are psychologically, emotionally, subconsciously not liking the AI look, why would you use the AI look on the first page of most expensive product that you're trying to sell in your life, which is your house? You can make photos as attractive as possible without looking like AI edit photos. That's the art, in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, that's where you have to be careful. I mean, I kind of go, wow, those photos look so fake. Sometimes it's so fake. Is that like a builder's photo that rendered on a computer? Like brand new home builders, they do that because they don't have a home to show because they haven't built it yet. They render computer programming with a fake lawn and stuff. And right now, some listing photos are going so AI, it's heading toward that direction. It's not going to be able to attract the buyer's emotion, which is how you sell a house, guys. So I think that's it for today's video. I know I didn't, this kind of went long, but I didn't think that it wasn't, at least it's not an hour. It's only 32 minutes. So hope that you got some good information from this video. And like I said, I've been selling in the Portland Metro for the last 18 years. And I know the marketing, how to list, how to sell. So if you're thinking about selling or just to start a conversation, whether selling is right or not right, I might be able to use my brain on the side next to your brain to help you to make the right decision. I'm not one of those agents. If I get a call, just, go ahead and sell it. Go ahead and sell it. I'm not a surgeon that you have to do a surgery when you call me. I approach it like more like consultant in the beginning stage. If you and I talk about it and you still think that it's better to sell, then I can help you to sell. If you think that it's not better it's better to keep, I'll tell you to keep it because hopefully you'll be happy with me and introduce me to your friend. That's fine by me. That's all I want. You don't have to sell with me. So if you want to start that conversation, give me a call, 503-515-4499. And again, my name is Shawn Yu from Portland, Oregon. I live here Bower Highlands, which is part of Bethany in some sense. So if you want to know more about marketing, house prepping, or consultation to sell or not sell, downsize, upsize, invest, whatever that is. So give me a call. Thanks so much for watching. If you watched this far, please do me a favor. Please like that. Hit the like. Smash the like button. And I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day.